stolen. Here's Middleton. Giannis trailing the lob. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So this is the Huawei Mate 20X. I've had it on me for about 2 weeks. I've used it as my daily driver for about 5 days, and then I switched over to another phone, and this became like my second phone for another 6-7 days. It's a really awesome phone, but I wasn't really going to make a video review of this until people started asking me on social media, and including some people on YouTube. So the reason I wasn't going to make a video on this was because the Mate 20X is very, very, very similar to the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. And considering that I've covered the Mate 20 Pro so much, I didn't feel like I needed to spend a video just covering this, because it becomes a little bit redundant. Just because a phone brand released like 7 versions of one phone don't mean I have to give them 7 different videos. I want to streamline my content. That's why when I reviewed the iPhone XS Max, I said in the video I don't need to review the iPhone XS because they're the same damn phone. So now these two phones, I wouldn't go as far as say they're the same damn phone, but they're so similar that whatever your impression of this, you can kind of apply to this. So basically, they have the exact same camera module, and they run on the exact same software, and they have the exact same chipset. So that means when you take photos with the Mate 20X, it's going to look exactly the same as photos from the Mate 20 Pro. When you use the Mate 20X as a smartphone, making phone calls, going on the web, it's going to be virtually the same experience as the Mate 20 Pro. Speediness, like app responsiveness, UI fluidity, it's all the same. Now there are some differences which I'll cover right away. So the most noticeable one is obviously screen size difference. This is a 7.2 inch OLED panel compared to the 6.4 inch OLED panel on the Mate 20 Pro. Now there's a lot of flickering on the Mate 20 Pro right now in the video, but rest assured, in real life I do not see that. This is just the video camera not being able to keep up with the high density resolution of this display. So the Mate 20 Pro display has higher resolution, is Quad HD compared to the 1080p panel. But honestly, most people will not be able to see the difference between a 2K resolution and a 1080p resolution. You need to have just about perfect eyesight watching like 4K content just to be able to see the difference. So in addition to the difference in size, you see the difference in notch. So that's because the Mate 20 Pro has a real 3D facial scanning system. The Mate 20X does not have a real 3D facial scanning system, but in return, you get a much smaller notch. That means when you're watching videos or playing games, it's more immersive than the Mate 20 Pro, and the earpiece is a little bit larger, so when you're playing music, sound comes out here a little bit better. In fact, there are additional speakers at the top and bottom of the Mate 20X, so the Mate 20X has a much louder speaker than the Mate 20 Pro. And there's a headphone jack. So you factor in all of this: larger screen, less of an intrusive cutout, better speakers, the option to plug in headphones. That makes the Mate 20X a better media consumption and gaming device than the Mate 20 Pro. Now there are other subtle differences too. The battery on the Mate 20X is a 5000 mAh battery compared to the 4200 mAh on the Mate 20 Pro. Now to be honest, battery life on the Mate 20 Pro is already epic. Like this phone I've been using on and off for like 3 weeks. I've never once run out of battery before my day ended. So I'll start my day with 100%, and no matter what time I come home, how late I stay out, the Mate 20 Pro will still have battery left. So the Mate 20X technically has better battery life, but it kind of doesn't matter because as long as I get to go home with battery still left on my phone, I can charge it at night. Then the next day I begin again with 100%. So it doesn't matter that this phone can go like another 4 hours from this phone, unless I really am going somewhere for like 2-3 days and I don't have access to electricity or something, which it's very rare. Whereas the Mate 20 Pro has an in-display fingerprint reader that actually works pretty well. There's also 3D face unlock as mentioned, but this surprisingly doesn't work that well. Anytime I shave, it fails to register my face, so I have to rescan everything. So what else is there? Wireless charging on the Mate 20 Pro, whereas on the Mate 20X, no wireless charging. You have to plug in a cable, and there's no water and dust resistance on this, technically anyway, but I'm pretty sure, you know, if you use this in the rain, it's gonna survive, it's not gonna die. So that means using this phone day to day, very similar experience as the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, or even the Honor Magic 2 for that matter. This chipset is super powerful, Kirin 980, 7nm, the camera is really strong. day shots come out very nice and vibrant, a little bit processed, and then night shots you get really lively images, just pulling a lot of light, especially if you use night mode. And then you have a wide angle lens that's pretty useful. So right here, I'm gonna stand still and just use the different lenses to capture different images. So you have wide angle lens here. This is 5x zoom, 3x zoom, and standard lens. So you see I'm able to get so many different focal lengths from just standing still. It's a very versatile camera system and definitely one of the top 2 or 3 cameras out there on the market right now. So now having said all that, I actually think the Mate 20X might be a better purchase than the Mate 20 Pro because prices vary from region to region, but for the most part, the Mate 20X is about $150 cheaper than the Mate 20 Pro. So now let's look at this the other way. If you buy the Pro over the X, you're paying $150 more, but what do you get for the $150? You get 1, an in-display fingerprint reader. 2, you get a curved display that's also higher resolution. 3, you get a real face unlock. 4, you get wireless charging. And 5, you get IP68 water resistance. I believe that's it for all the differences. So every single one of these things I just mentioned, they kind of don't matter that much to the average person. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're nice features to have, especially for a tech geek like me, but I don't lose sleep over them if I don't have them. Like wireless charging, it's cool, but if I don't have wireless charging on this phone, it's not a big deal. In-display fingerprint reader, same thing, it's nice, but if I have a fingerprint reader on the back, it's fine. And now face unlock, a real 3D face unlock, it's important. I think that's the future of identity authentication. So I think it's important, but Huawei's implementation isn't perfect. Like I said earlier, I have to rescan my face every week or so whenever I shave. So this is a flawed system. If I have to deal with a flawed 3D facial scanning, then I just rather do this 2D facial scanning, which is just as fast and less prone to mistakes. And then you have the higher resolution display, which I already said doesn't really matter. Curved screen looks really nice, but it actually offers no functionality. In fact, some people dislike curved screens because the palm always accidentally touches the screen. So now you look at the X. Not only do you save $150, you get better speakers and a better experience when watching videos or playing games. And battery life lasts longer too, but again, like I said, the battery life difference doesn't matter to me. So having factored in all of that, the Mate 20X is probably a better buy with one big exception. The big exception is this phone is really damn big, and even though there's a one-hand mode, the one-hand mode is a little bit flawed because the screen is still a little bit too high. Like, look at it. Even though now it's in one-hand mode, I still can't reach to the top of the screen without readjusting my grip. I wish Huawei would have thought of this and give you the option to adjust the one-hand screen the size that you like. LG phones let you do that. On an LG phone, you can choose how big you want the screen to be. So it would be better for me if the screen was like another inch or 2 smaller. So this phone is slightly hard to use with one hand. It's not too bad, it's manageable. So I'm an adult male, 5'10", so I'm about average size, I believe. So now if you have smaller hands than me, or if you just wear tighter pants than me, then you really gotta consider if you can handle this phone size. If you can handle this phone size, like if you decide that you really like big phones, or you're like 6'5", and this phone it's not big at all, then yeah, I think get this over the Pro. All the benefits of the Pro really isn't that big of a deal unless you really need wireless charging or something. So this is it for the Mate 20X. This is a relatively short review, but like I said, it's the same phone as the Mate 20 Pro mostly. So I'm not going to milk content. I'm not going to be those guys who get one phone and make like 7 videos. And one video for battery life, one video just for gaming, one video for speaker, all that. Nah, I'm not going to do that. So that's it for the Mate 20X. I'm not doing any more on this phone. Thanks for watching.